Well, sports is often thought of as the field where everything is level, man, woman, as long as you can compete and perform, then you get to have a say in what's going on. But my next two guests did not find that to be so. I am joined now by Rose Mambo, who's to my immediate right, and to my far right, Martha Vincent. You may know them both from their corporate roles, but really today they're here as ex-members of the Limuru Country Club, and both you ladies are far too beautiful to be thought of as dumped, but that's exactly what this club did. Tell us what your experience has been as far as discrimination on the basis of gender is concerned. Rose.
Well, we were set to elect our captain, golf captain, and the vice captain in the golf committee in December. But 3 days to the meeting, the board passed a rule saying that only men shall participate in that meeting and that ladies will attend as guests. And so on the day of the meeting, we were unable to vote for the captain, the vice captain, and the committee. And we tried to raise our objections on the floor of the meeting, and eventually we had to walk out of the meeting because we were totally ignored.
But Martha, you pay the same fees as the men do, I imagine.
Yes, indeed we do. We pay exactly the same fees, and we pay subs every quarter, and they are exactly the same.
This is, of course, a members club, a private members club, and therefore it would have its own rules. Why would you then choose to oppose these rules, given that this is not a public facility?
Well, the rules are, as you're joining the club, you know what the rules are. You don't bargain for them to be changed 3 days before a meeting. So when you're paying your subscription or your joining fee, you know what the rules are. And when they're changed in the middle of the game, then there is a problem.
Is this a kind of discrimination that you think is faced often by women, sportswomen?
I'd like to hope that this is an isolated case, and I'd also like to hope that maybe this is something that came up without much thought put into it. Unfortunately, it's escalated to what it is today, but obviously we're still hoping with the different channels that we are using, we shall come to some sort of conclusion to this problem.
You are ex-members, you intend to contest that, right?
Oh yes, we do intend to contest it, and we've sought the assistance of the Kenya Golf Union. They've been trying to have mediation meetings with the parties involved. We've also asked for the intervention of the Ministry of Sports through the Commissioner of Sport. And eventually, if all this fails, we will end up going to court.
What do you think this spells out for young women who are looking to join such a prestigious sport such as golf, which you would think would be the last place where this sort of discrimination would be found?
I would hope that young girls who are hoping to start playing golf or who are already playing golf are not affected by what is happening, because it is in my view that this is an isolated case. It is in my view that it is something that possibly could have been solved in the early stages of this problem. This is not something that has happened in the past, or at least I hope it hasn't happened in the past in our club, and purely because of lack of communication, lack of the ability to sit down and come to some sort of a conclusion, it has escalated into what it is today. This is something that could have been solved on the second day.
Do you think a lack of sufficient sports facilities would further disenfranchise women, especially when decision making is being made? Because, I mean, really, how many other clubs are there for you to go to?
Well, there are 40 clubs in Kenya and about 13 in the environs of Nairobi. What has been difficult for women is that there are particular days in certain clubs that only men can play on the course, and sometimes that tends to be a bit of a challenge when you're told that you can only hold your women competition, say, on a Tuesday morning. But at Limuru, actually, Limuru has been the most progressive of these clubs. We used to play with the men, they still do, play with the men on club night, play with them on Saturday competitions, and actually women are eligible to win the top prize in Limuru. But I think that this is isolated, as Martha says, and we are hopeful that once this is resolved, really the future for women in golf is really bright.
You know, throughout the program today on Election Center, we've been talking about sports and how important a component it is if you're going to be able to move the entire country forward. That means whether you're book smart or street smart or you're great with sports, what do you think needs to be done? What is your hope for the incoming government as far as the management of sports is, and of course in particular regarding women? I'll start with you.
I think I will obviously talk about golf because that is my love, that is what I like doing. And when it comes to the incoming governments, I would actually hope to see more young girls. I will emphasize on the girls because we have a lot of girls out there who are very good golfers, and I don't believe that because you can afford to pay green fees or you can afford to pay large membership fees into clubs, automatically you're the best sportsman or the best golfer in the country. I think there is a lot of people out there who are unable to pay what we pay, but they are obviously the material or the quality that we're looking for to play for our country, to represent our country. The ladies section, we have a lot of international competitions coming along, and I think it is important. We've got a lot of young ladies now who are being encouraged to play, and there's a lot of ladies who are playing for different academies, and we hope that these academies will be promoted even from the government point of view, and governments will enhance what they're trying to do already.
Thank you, Rose.
I think that the government should take a stronger role in mainstreaming sports by funding a lot of these activities. Equipment is always very, very expensive. And a lot of people may have the interest or even the talent, but they don't have the money to invest in building those careers as sportsmen. You find that if you have somebody who is very talented in soccer, they end up having to go out or abroad so that they have an opportunity to play. But how many people can actually afford to do that? So investing in sports academies, investing in equipment, and investing in nurturing the talent of the upcoming players in every sport, I think should be a focus of the incoming government.
Well, I thank you both for your time, and certainly we'll be watching the story as it develops, as you continue to challenge your expulsion from the Limuru Country Club, really on the basis of wanting to take part in a vote. Thank you both for coming and speaking to us. We'll take a short break. We'll be back after this.